Alright, Scouts, you wanted blind runs of other biomes? Well, here's the Mesa on Ascent 6, and whoo boy, was this a long, brutal one. So we're gonna have to speed some stuff up, and I doubt I'll even have time to make too many cutaway jokes, so strap in for a wild ride. I start by grabbing some extra stamina while I can before making my way down the hill, and just up ahead I get hit by a tumbleweed which knocks me into a cactus. I try to grab my milk before I pass out, but I'm not quick enough, and when I pass out my shell fungus explodes on the ground. After I wake up, I quickly begin removing thorns from myself. To do this, just grab a wall and look at the thorns on your limbs. And after I'm all fixed up, I try to retrieve my backpack, but it's stuck inside the shell fungus, and no matter which angle I try, I can't grab it. So I keep moving up the hill, and I even manage to grab myself a yellow winterberry from the capybaras as I pass through. Just ahead, I spot luggage in the distance, so I move towards it, but I quickly pass out from the cold. Luckily, daytime wakes me back up, and when I advance through, I realize the luggage was just a mirage, so I head down into the canyon. In the canyon, I grab another shell fungus, and then I head back up the other side of the canyon, making sure to stop in the shade when I need to reduce heat. Soon enough, with only a hot dog and a shell fungus, I need to make some decisions. So I use the shell fungus to get me up this stretch of wall, and I make sure to take a little bit of heat buildup before it transitions to nightfall. With night here, I need to move fast, so I eat my hot dog for stamina and make my way up the canyon wall and onwards. Soon I find some luggage, but it's just a checkpoint flag and a balloon, neither of which will save me. Along the way, I also find a shell fungus and another luggage that has a second checkpoint flag and some bandages. Now, with limited inventory space, I decide to drop myself a checkpoint flag here just in case. If you need to deal with scorpions along your route, just pick them up and chuck them off the hill. Soon, I find myself another luggage with some mushrooms, but the cold has taken over once again, and unsure how long I have left in night, I drop my inventory to give myself the maximum delay until I pass out again for a while. Luckily, it was morning already, so I get back up, grab my stuff, and plant my checkpoint flag shortly up the hill. I chuck myself another scorpion, and then it's a couple boring minutes of climbing and sprint jumping. Eventually, I find a granola bar in this luggage, but I have to quickly use it to free up my hands. Then it's a bunch more sped up climbing, and as night is approaching again, I make sure to get out in the light before nightfall to get heat buildup at the start of nighttime. We soon find another luggage with a checkpoint flag and a parasol, so we place another checkpoint flag, and I decide to use up this shell fungus so that I can take the parasol with me. To get up the shell fungus, I stand on the corner of the luggage and neutral jump. To do this, you press shift once you're already in mid-air of the jump. That reduces your stamina intake. Once I'm up there, I find another luggage with milk that I'll very quickly need to use to free up my hands, but it'll protect me from the cold anyways. The next luggage we find is basically useless with a sunscreen and a balloon, but I throw the balloon on my back anyways just for reduced gravity on my jumps. And not long afterwards, the cold has yet again taken over. Luckily, my items fall neatly by my side, and then, once we thaw out and we're back up, we use the rope spool to make a rope piton to help me climb this wall. We dodge a little dynamite, and then it's back to some sped up climbing. Soon we find some bugle shrooms to deal with my hunger. You can tell these ones are safe to eat because they're smooth on the stem. If it had ridges underneath the stem, it would be toxic. I find another luggage with a rescue claw in it, but if I want to use that, I'm going to have to keep it in my hands and use it up pretty quickly. The next luggage provides me another balloon, and before long we have to ditch our rescue claw entirely to get further. I begin advancing through the sun using the parasol for protection, but get stuck in a funky spot near a cactus, so I scarf down a big lollipop and lunge my way up the hill to safety. I keep advancing with the parasol and get to the next luggage, which nets me a rope cannon. We climb up the hill a little more before I get to a spot perfect for my rope spool again. Sometimes it takes me a couple tries to place a good rope piton, but you get 16 charges per rope spool for extra climbing distance, and I use that to advance through the next 2 climbs with the assistance of a pickaxe, which works exactly the same as a rope piton. I grab a shelf fungus and make my way as far as I can before using that shelf fungus, which was ultimately placed poorly and worthless. But just past that, I'm able to combine a rope cannon and a rope piton to make my way to the top finally. I snag the anti-rope spool from the statue, check the luggage for supplies, and then wait as long as humanly possible before lighting the campfire to make sure I burn as much coal as I can. And that's the Mesa on Ascent 6. I hope you learned something from watching this. I know it's a longer video than usual, but I thought the journey was worth telling. Can you guess if I made it through the rest of my Ascent 6 after this? Let me know in the comments, and stay safe out there, Scouts.